Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to take a nostalgic journey back in time, to an era when a 12-year-old could find magic in a simple electronic component store, leave feeling like a budding inventor. That store was RadioShack, a cherished haven for hobbyists, tinkerers, and tech enthusiasts alike. The RadioShack saga began in 1921, when two brothers, Theodore and Milton Deutschmann, decided to cater to the ever-growing fascination for amateur radio among the general populace. Fast forward to the late 70s and the early 80s, the brand evolved into an electronics nirvana. A cliché, yes, but every corner of every RadioShack outlet was a treasure trove. Specialist tools, obscure components, all housed under one roof. Simply walking into the store could fill you with a sense of awe and wonder. But it wasn't just in its offerings that RadioShack found its strength. It was the intrinsic camaraderie among its staff. All electronics aficionados in their own right had truly made the store a haven. Need a nudge in your project's direction? Or did you require a specific electronic part? Not only did the staff help with finding it in the shelves of components, but were ever ready to share insights, divulge secrets, and strengthen the bond forged over a mutual love for electronics. This warm environment fostered a loyal community of regulars who were more than just shoppers. Each store was a melting pot of diverse knowledge, experiences and fascinating stories, a platform where independent inventors conversed, exchanged ideas and advised each other. This community spirit was intoxicating, encouraging countless young minds to fall in love with the art of tinkering. You could come to RadioShack with mere dollars in your pocket, but leave laden with inspiration and a list of projects to attempt. Innovative gadgets, revolutionary gizmos, and life-changing components aside, RadioShack played an unexpected yet pivotal role in the tech-loving community's evolution. The store empowered individuals to become makers, to transform from mere spectators into creators in their right. Heartwarming narratives of once kids experimenting with a RadioShack DIY circuit kit and now leading tech conglomerates underline the store's massive yet unassuming significance. RadioShack did for electronics what comic books did for superheroes. They fostered an entire generation of armchair innovators and inventors. So, why did RadioShack, an emblem of success and a pioneer in the field of electronics, eventually succumb? To answer the question, we must skim through the mid-90s and early 2000s, the time RadioShack took a U-turn from its original perimeters. With the emergence of the burgeoning cellular telephone industry, RadioShack anticipated significant profit growth by augmenting the distribution and sale of these devices. The up-and-coming must-have gadget of the decade, phones seemed like a breakthrough means to broaden RadioShack's then narrowing scope. RadioShack invested colossal resources in optimizing the display and retail model for these cell phones, abandoning their differentiated service and omnipresent product catalog. This strategic shift became more apparent with the subsequent reduction in specialized DIY staff and products, replaced by largely mundane consumer electronics. However, this move, perceived as a strategic bet, should have rung alarm bells. It wasn't the cellular telephone market that RadioShack was pioneering, it was embracing the facade of commoditization, a practice antithetical to the regard required by any community adopted and sustained by a specialized group of enthusiasts. Consequently, RadioShack found itself in the vortex of an identity crisis, a conundrum people began mocking and distancing themselves from. The infamous "I need your zip code" trot became a sort of ad hoc autopsy report, a symbol of its disconnect with its original loyal community. Furthermore, the strategic shift in selling commodity consumer electronics proved futile, plunging the chain into a dwindling whirlpool, earnest sales paling in front of meager performances. The crude wake-up call made it explicitly clear that the spark of transformation had severely backfired. A process RadioShack began in the anticipation of glorious ascent towards consumer electronics transformed into a desperate retreat to stay afloat. Their attempts of revitalization, either through rebranding or cutting back the stores, all resulted in vain. RadioShack's demise echoes one somewhere between a Shakespearean tragedy and a business guru's cautionary tale. In the course of maximizing profits, encroaching upon the pristine niche of enthusiasts, betting against their loyalties, a juggernaut of innovation fell into oblivion. The somber events marking RadioShack's decline immensely shed light not just on its despairing journey but more so on the indispensable importance of tenaciously safeguarding your brand's essence. The consequences of RadioShack's betrayal of their community were long-lasting. It lost credibility and respect, often measurable assets in the constantly evolving technology market where the new ousted the old at an unprecedented pace. The captivating story of RadioShack's rise, its ultimate fall and the harrowing aftermath transcend business textbooks and resonate on a human level. It underscores the profound impact of community sentiment on a business's trajectory, a message incumbents and startups should imbibe alike. Today, shelves that once boasted niche components, DIY kits, and unique tech pieces stand empty, a stark metaphor for a once thriving enterprise now humbled. As a final takeaway from this retrospective voyage, our piece of advice for any aspiring or established brand: do more than chase trends, cherish the community that embraces you. In conclusion, RadioShack teaches us a lesson that transcends the evolving world of technology. It reinforces a universal business truth: your community defines you, nurtures you, and shapes your growth. A small gesture of appreciation to all you enthusiasts, tinkerers, and inventors for being the mortar, the brick, and the architect of communities like RadioShack. You stood tall, proud, and committed to your passion, sparking an ardor that transcends generations. While the name RadioShack may solely exist within the folds of history and the reminiscence of the millions to whom it once meant the world, its essence, its spirit will continue to echo in each inventor, innovator, and business person for time immemorial.